Okay, we're streaming.
Oh, wait. Hold on, wait.
Why?
Make sure this works.
It's already streaming. It's already streaming.
Wait. Surprise.
Well, we're early, so.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect anything to work this quickly. It never does.
Oh, my Lord, it's working.
So, am I on?
Yeah, you're on, honey. Hello, Turbo, honey.
What now?
Oh, I'm talking to the giant. Turbo's here, I say. Them in hand.
So, the way it works is we're going to play the theme song and wing it afterwards.
I figured. You know what? I just finished my Affy Tapple, and I thought of you.
Very nice.
Sad they're gone.
I just had 3 chicken croquettes. Okay. So, okay. I'm going to start recording.
Okay.
Debbie, you got the message about, well, your head just popped off your neck. What happened?
Now, listen, I am very flexible. What now?
So, I haven't had a chance to do anything about the theme song. It's a mess. So I'm just going to use the last version. Sorry about that. And here we go.
Yes. Oh, what was that? What are we doing?
Go on. It sounds like something you find in your penis.
Oh, God.
I got my feet in cement, I got my head in the clouds. You might call me demented, but I am too damn proud. I got a hunger for something outside the status quo. So pull up your chair. We are full automatic, we are out and about. We are singing hallelujah with our hearts torn out. No need to beat on what you already know. Your place has been set.
All right, well, that's enough of the theme song because there's some editorial problems there. So I have to fix it, but not on today, as the RuPaul girls say. Not on today. So today we are back. It's Eat This Hot Show. We've had some challenges. We've had a little bit. The problem you see is that our co-host, what's her name again? Sharon Osbourne canceled us because she beheaded too many people or something. It's a big mess. We had drama. I'm not going to go into the drama because I don't remember it. It's been several weeks and I already forgot. But all I know is that Reagan Fox quit the show and she's never coming back because we're horrible people, especially me and that Debbie too. We're horrible people and and Debbie and I, we're going to study some critical race theory and get back to her, and we're going to read the Bible of how to act about, we're going to learn how to
Great.
act.
So can you offend me to that point that I never want to be on the show again?
Well, that will be very easy, apparently. We'll just tell you look pretty. So speaking of guests, so our current co-host, let's just say, is we're going to say Griselda, right? That's who you are?
Yeah, sure.
Griselda.
I'm
Griselda, the Park Avenue princess. She is prisoner. She's from Park Avenue. She's in a lovely penthouse, and she's here with us. And she's obese, and she loves to talk about topics related to eating, food, exercise, and all kinds of things. So welcome to the program, Griselda.
Thank you.
I really like that painting behind you. It's very interesting.
Thanks. David painted that. Remember him?
Super Smash?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it great? I love it.
Really nice. Yeah, Super Smash. Didn't you bite his skin tag off him once or something? I mean, you mentioned the skin tag, or I wouldn't have. They're going to quit the show already.
You just had a lot of them.
This could be a record, right? Of the first person to quit the show, like within the show, like before it's even finished, you could already self-cancel.
No, that's not true.
No?
You had an RNC person on one time. Your your normal show, you used to radio, and he quit, I think, 15
Who?
seconds in. I don't know. He did some
Andy?
art piece. No, it wasn't Andy.
Kate Beckinsale?
Madge wanted to do like a serious interview and have him on, but obviously it wasn't serious because I was on it and Sharon was on it. And he was talking about his foot art that was pornography related.
Oh, 7.
We started laughing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're using really expensive cameras and lenses to, just a foot.
A foot in the ass.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we.
That was 7.
I don't know. He canceled us. I haven't talked to him since then. That was the end. That was
I
several
follow
years
him
ago.
on social media.
Yeah. I don't know. So
I think he signed a deal with Foot Locker. I don't know.
So what I was hoping to do.
OnlyFans.
So, Deborah, I should, before we continue, I'm sorry to be discontinued. I purposely didn't want to plan a whole lot of the show because after the whole Reagan debacle, I feel like we could deal with a lot less structure today. So I just thought, let's just take it easy, relax. But there is one structure I'd like to add, which is I'd like to keep it down to an hour if possible, but we'll see how that goes. If possible, just because, I think the shit lasts too long. Debbie, how are you? How have you been since the last?
I'm doing wonderful, honey.
Yeah.
I am in the process of spending money, so I'm very happy. Acquiring Mac products and microphones.
Yeah, you're very rich. I see. I know that you're a full-time YouTuber now. You are on the dole because you got the Biden money, and before that you had the Trump money, and you're rich, and you have more money than me, even though I work.
More money than anything. Though I would be retired right now if I wouldn't have took your advice on the Ethereum a couple years ago.
Why do you blame me for that?
Well, I just.
First of all, what was the advice? Because I don't remember.
Oh, all these other coins, Debbie, are just BS. You don't need the other coins. Bitcoin's the true coin, which I have the Bitcoin, which thanks to you, I've, put some savings in the Bitcoin, Stacy. But the Ethereum, I bought in at $11 and I got rid of it, what was it, 2 years ago when you were like, oh, no, that's not where the magic is.
Wait a second. It's okay. I think, is Stacy, I don't look at the chat room because I generally get very upset.
Hopefully it's the real Stacy because, she has a lot of
imposters. I'm sure that's her. But because she said Griselda looks fat, so I'm pretty sure that an imposter wouldn't know how fat she is. She says Griselda looks like she got even more obese during lockdown. But Stacy is.
I did. I gained 10 pounds, but we're not talking about that right now.
Stacey,
I'm wearing a white, a huge shirt.
Well, you're huge. You need a huge shirt. If it wasn't,
white makes you look thin.
You'd look like Lizzo if you were any tighter. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. But since Stacey's here, I mean, she's a severe Bitcoin maven with her Orange Pill show and the Kaiser Report. But I don't do shit coins. The only one I'm interested in is Bitcoin. And what happens is this is the same pattern happened in 2017. Bitcoin got high, and then the other coins follow, and they all blow up, and then they all fall, and then Bitcoin's the only one that has resilience. Those shit coins all fell. So you can play games with that shit if you want to, but
it's too late now. I've already sold it.
Did you buy Dogecoin too?
I never got into any of the crappy coins. The only one I got into was the Ethereum because I liked what the guy was preaching back in the day, back when he was a little man.
Eat a dick. Anyway.
Well, he's a billionaire now.
Okay, so.
But he's still ugly. How do you become a billionaire and get no work
He's
done?
a robot.
I mean,
He's a robot.
I'm just saying, get you some Accutane, honey. Come on.
He's a robot. Vitalik Buterin, that's a robotic name anyway. Okay. So we're going to do topics. We're going to rotate topics, and I'm going to try and moderate this episode. I'm going to try and moderate to keep things going if I can, which I'm sure I will fail at as usual. So I'll let Debbie go since she is experienced. I don't want Griselda to have to go since she's never gone. But you'll go second, and then I'll go third. So what's your first topic, Debbie? Do you have a topic for us?
Okay, well, we overlay topics with a certain woman, but I'll let you save that one, okay?
Oh, no. Wait, I'm bleeping. I'm sorry. I have to put myself on Do Not Disturb. See, I'm getting horrible notifications on my screen about stocks. Oh, that's bad.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to lead with Caitlin, but I'll let you have her, okay? And we'll overlap.
You can do it. I don't care. I have plenty of stories.
No. I mean, I think I'll let you lead with it, honey. But
it's too late to lead because you already are leading.
So would you like to lead?
No,
with the one and only?
No, you lead with whatever you want. I'm just giving you.
Okay, let's lead with her then.
Okay,
and then we'll play your video. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually,
so
it'll be your video.
Many people know, Caitlin is running for governor,
and she looks horrible.
She looks
is
good.
wrecked.
Well, no. I
Horrible.
will personally, I think she looks good. I will give her that.
It looks like somebody her surgeon just took a knife and just cut everywhere.
She's 80-something years old.
Oh, is she?
If I was 80 years old, I would hope I look half that good if I was eating cooter. But anyways, so I don't know if you watched it. Your video, does it cover the hanger, honey? Do you want to move into your video?
I don't know anything about the hanger. It's the Sean Hannity video that I want to show.
Well, I think what inspired her to run for governor, basically, is all the homeless and peasants out in the street. That's what I took away with her interview with Sean Hannity. So let's take a look at this video real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
See if it covers it.
Well, but girls, transgender sports, people that like Joy that say the wrong thing.
Joy that says, I mentioned a second ago, my mom sometimes, when she gets upset, I don't have a problem with that.
Mom?
The community has a bigger
transgender too
with that than I do. I stick with my statements that I made. I think we have to make sure that the integrity of girls' sports is there. I think that's extremely important. But it's there's more to it than just what I said, because I just said biological boys in sports. There's more to it than that. And I think in the future, I will explain more of that. But for me, as a trans woman, I think role models are extremely important for young people. Trans issues people struggle with big time. Our suicide rate is 9 times higher than the general public. And for me to be a role model for them, to be out there. I am running for governor of the state of California. Who would have ever thunk that? We've never even had a woman.
Let alone Frankenstein monster. Oops.
That's I don't, I move on. I want to be a role model, and I think and to be a leader. And I think the most important thing as a leader that you can do is
you get the point. The point is that she wants to. Did I cut it off before the point? Because then she says she wants to be a role model, right? She said that.
Yeah, so, that's the gist of it.
So she says she doesn't. She says trans women should not. No, I'm sorry.
She's backtracking, kind of.
Okay.
Because the statement. Go ahead, honey.
She's saying trans women should not participate in bio women or AFABs or whatever it's called, ABFAB sports, right? But at the same time, she's saying, and this is what the Twitter person who posted it was saying, is that it's obviously hypocrisy because at the same time she's saying she wants to be a role model for trans women. So I think it's really interesting, especially with Griselda, because you're an athlete. Obese, albeit, but you can still be fat and be an athlete. When I go to Athletica, all of the mannequins are obese, so you're fine. But so I'm sorry, my neighbors are loud. We have new ones.
But she competes in the golf tournaments, tournaments with women.
She's goth, and they have tournaments for being goth. Like what is who wears
golf? I'm sorry I'm just saying she competes.
So this is a tricky one, and I think it's interesting because in some ways, I don't find it a contradiction. So I'm interested in Griselda because, so I know a lot of people have made the argument, and if you make this argument, you're considered transphobic, which is by the trans community. It's been clearly established that if you agree with this point of view, you're considered transphobic. It has gotten a lot of people in trouble, including Martina Navratilova. But I'm interested in what, particularly what Griselda thinks, because the one side, it's like you're just protecting women because, of course, you don't want a woman to get injured when she's doing a sport with someone with, I guess, I don't know, biological male.
Well,
I don't even know how to talk about it.
Especially like track and field, they measure testosterone levels, and that's there have been women in the past who have been, accused of doping but they genetically have more testosterone. And, it really does put you ahead above everyone else.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. But I think that if you're going through hormone therapy as a trans person, then that kind of evens the playing field.
Okay.
I did think it was interesting in a race I'm doing over the summer. There's a third category for, if you don't identify as male or female, and then all of those people can compete against each other.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the way to do it if people are, hesitant, because it is a really difficult topic.
Yeah.
But yep. I mean, I know that if I up against someone, with higher testosterone and we're sprinting, there's no way I have a chance.
Right. But so that's what's tricky, because I know when Glenn Greenwald wrote a big article about Martina Navratilova, and at first she came out with the same opinion as Caitlin has now, which is that they shouldn't compete together. But then Greenwald took the position, well, she needed to be educated, because that's kind of an ignorant position. And once when you're educated, you realize that if they're on hormone replacement therapy, then it does level the playing field. But I just find that, first of all, hard to measure. And is it true? And how do you know?
I
do you
think
measure?
It is true. Well, I've read about running in this instance, and when people go on estrogen or progesterone, they start running slower.
Yeah.
So there are ways to measure it. They could also be measuring, hormone levels in the body. I mean, I guess it gets tricky then, because most places wouldn't go to that, extent. But if you were in some world-class event, I guess they can make levels where you're defined one sex or the other, which could then become offensive with the labeling. But, then you could at least have some sort of equality with the playing.
But it's got to be more than just the hormones, because let's say I'm like a huge guy, right? Like, let's say I look like, I don't know, one of those people with a small dick at the beach with the huge muscles, right? And then you go on hormone therapy to become a woman. So your hormones have gotten a woman, but you still have the man's body. So at what point, doesn't that still give you an advantage? You know what I mean?
I think, yes, probably at the start, but then you would level out.
And then there's just your physique in general,
sports,
the size of your frame and all that sort of thing, right? I mean, that doesn't change as much.
That's true.
I don't know.
My son wanted to join us.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't? You want to watch? Okay, you can watch.
Okay.
Sorry. He sent me a note.
But doesn't it also depend on the sport? I mean, I think each sport would have to be identified where there's an issue, because a lot of sports, even with, full-fledged, men, it goes by weight and height and all these other factors. So, I just think in some ways I can understand, I can totally relate to like a cis woman and reservations on some things. But then some things I think it's just making a bigger issue than what it is. You know what I mean?
Right, like golf, actually. I mean, maybe if you have a little bit more muscle, maybe you can drive the ball further, but it's about technique. It's not about, overpowering someone.
Yeah. Well, and then that goes to hypocrisy, like with me saying, well, she's competing with golf, but then, really, it's a lot of thought that goes into that, right? Or if you get that certain, I watch a lot of QVC, but if you stay up late enough, you get that certain golf club, you win them all.
So to sum up, to conclude, do you both, each of you, think that it's hypocritical of Caitlin to say that trans women should not be able to compete with AbFabs or AFabs, and at the same time say that she wants to be a role model for trans women? Do you find that hypocritical, or do you think that's okay?
She's backtracking now, so I think her
based on her
current
position,
change.
based on
her current position, yeah. I mean, she already got all of her medals and stuff, so of course she's.
So you think it's hypocritical?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think, Griselda?
I was thinking, just that she comes from this place of being so privileged from, and usually I wouldn't go there, but just the performance she had athletically, her transition. People treat her completely different than they would an average person in the same spot. So So yeah, I mean, the backtracking thing is bad. Um, I mean, it's just hard to even respect anything she says.
Yeah.
It's sad. It
Well,
really
I
is
mean,
because she had such a platform in the beginning and
for,
she's just ruined
for
it.
myself, I think she's garbage as a candidate. It's disgusting to me that just because you're famous now you get to be governor, just like Schwarzenegger. And Schwarzenegger won in a
Right.
recall too. The whole thing is garbage. But in this particular issue, isolated, I have to say, well, first of all, I think I need to be more educated about this thing because I don't get it. To me, I have not seen the evidence, and I would like to, and I would love for people to share it, that shows that that a trans woman is on the same level of competition as a bio woman, that her male advantage is completely gone because she's on hormone therapy. I would like to see evidence of that. I have not. I've seen people talk about it. I would like to see evidence of that. Given that, assuming that there isn't evidence, I don't find it hypocritical. I don't. I think she's trying to say that, it's not fair for, and it can be, in fact, dangerous. I mean, no, not in track and field, but in maybe contact sports, for a trans woman to compete with a bio woman. I know you're not supposed to say bio woman, but my vocabulary is fucked. I'm old. I'd like to see the evidence because I think what happens is it turns into, the conversation turns into something weird and I don't know, wokey. So. Anyway, okay, Griselda.
Yeah, they probably don't even have much data on it yet because there's just so many more people able, to come out and do these things now. So I think it's going to take some time.
Okay, so Griselda, what's your topic?
My topic is first I'll do Governor Pete Ricketts.
Yeah.
He's the governor of Nebraska. He is offended that Biden allegedly said that we had to lower our consumption of beef. But I didn't bring a video or anything, so I'm just going to talk. So this is going to be fast.
You don't need a video. This isn't Reagan Fox's, class. So.
Okay. So anyway, the governor, the whole thing about Biden saying that there was something in the Daily Mail saying we could only have one burger a month because he wants to lower our consumption to 4 pounds of beef a year. Anyway, that's all lies. And then Fox went on a bunch of shows and ran with it. So now it's scaring everyone.
But just to pause for a second, hold that thought. But I do think that's interesting because that was one of the media things that was bothering me this week because they denied it and said it's fake news, and that may be. But the fact of the matter is, it's a big part of the Green New Deal that you do have to cut beef consumption. So to deny that is to kind of deny the reality of climate change. So anyway, go ahead.
And the reason why that number came about is before Biden was even elected, there was, I think it was in Michigan, like University of Michigan, they did research and they figured out to cut like 90% of greenhouse gases. Part of it is, to stop the beef consumption. Right. So they recommended that we decrease our consumption by, I don't know, to that amount. Yeah. So Biden had nothing to do with it. Anyway, so he created a beef passport, and unfortunately, I ordered a beef passport, and it hasn't arrived yet.
And what is a beef passport?
Oh my God!
This is.
You have to eat meat to travel on a plane. Is that it? Or is it?
Well, it's very stupid. So he declared May Beef Month, and the beef passport looks like a flying passport. But there's about 40 restaurants in Nebraska that you can go visit. And if you order beef, they give you a stamp. And then at the end of, I don't know if it's May or how long the promotion is, you send in your passport and you could win things. Yeah. So I went and looked at the prizes. So I wrote it down. If you have one stamp, you can get one of 5 grilling packages, and it looks like an apron and some knives. Oh. So there's 5 prizes like that. Then if you get 6 stamps, so you visited 6 of these restaurants and ate beef, there's 2 prizes that are $250 worth of beef. And then if you get 11 or more stamps, you can get $500 of beef in a cooler. So that's his promotion. I mean, it's gotten so much publicity and it's pretty lame. Not a surprise. But so yeah, I guess we could talk about beef consumption. One, I mean, in addition to eating less being better for the environment, it's also better for us because there's so much causal evidence that it causes cancer.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it?
I think you told me once that even eating meat once a month can increase your chances of cancer, right?
Well, processed meats.
Processed meats.
With, I mean, I can't even remember. No, but okay, this is off topic. I live near the turtle pond in Central Park, and someone was feeding this gigantic turtle a Slim Jim. I had no idea they liked Slim Jims.
Wow.
Yeah, I got it on video. See, that would be perfect to show you now.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I mean, beef passports, they're fun, but I don't like the way the spin about the Biden hamburger thing went, because it was basically like on The View, Deborah and mine's favorite show, they're just like laughing like, how could they say that? That's just such fake news. But it's really not fake news. What it is it's real, but you can't say it because it's not
It's a suggestion,
palatable.
though, right? I mean, all of this is just suggestions on ways to fix the climate issue, right?
It's not a suggestion. It's necessary.
It is suggestions.
Yeah.
It's a necessary.
None of this is
spun it.
Nobody's coming in your house grabbing your beef. Maybe your husband or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but in order to fix climate change, you really kind of would have to do that. You really would have to do something legally. You can't just let people eat as much meat as they want and still not and bring the temperature down.
But do you think that's going to? But like just the mind, like I couldn't imagine being in that mindset, because we can't even get people to get vaccinated, much less we're going to come in their house and take their. It's not going to happen. So,
right.
It's just BS.
But then we're all going to die.
That was another interesting thing.
In either case,
how's seaweed? They have less emissions. So really they should just be supplementing their diet with
healthier
seaweed.
cows.
Yeah. Less methane.
Or put them on, we've got a backstop, the ventilators.
Sorry, you're saying.
I was going to say vent the cows.
You're saying
I'm saying? Less movement.
We should feed seaweed to the cows, or we should eat the seaweed?
Idea.
Why don't we just eat the seaweed ourselves and skip the cows?
I mean, I would do that. I don't eat a lot of beef.
My lesbian wife is from Peru, and when they were, maybe in the 80s, or I don't know if it was the 80s, they were only allowed to eat meat once a month. And you know what? They're very healthy.
That was like a money thing, right?
Yeah, it was rationing. So
and
they
you had to
did
get a stamp to get the beef.
I believe so, beef passport.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I know the keto people probably won't like it, but I mean,
I did enjoy the keto when I was on it. You told me, Grizz, said, "Oh no, honey, you're gonna die." But I lost a lot of weight. I did lose a lot. I gained it all back long term.
Oh no!
I mentioned it on
long-term heart disease.
I mentioned it on my show, but my mother went on keto because she has mice, and the mice were eating her fruit. So instead of getting rid of the mice, she got rid of the fruit by going on the keto. And then I told my sister about it. She's like, well, I hope she enjoys having kidney disease, because when you're old and you do keto, your kidneys, you can't be in ketosis. This is what my sister told me. You can't be in ketosis when you're above a certain age, like old, because your kidney. Is that true, Griselda? I know you have a nutrition degree.
I haven't heard that about the age, but it is extremely hard on your kidneys. So if she has any pre-existing kidney issues, that could be
I don't think she does.
I guess the best way to handle it, now that I think about it, is like New York's, how they're handling cigarettes, right? Just outprice the beef. Yeah, tax the beef. Yeah. And then like what you could do is they could do subsidized, cheaper, vegetables and fish maybe, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's something, that would slowly get people into
But then you read, there's a whole bunch of shit about fish being not sustainable too. Some Instagram people like Fashion Slurers saying I can't eat fish ever because you're me,
Well, that's from that documentary, but I've read something on the Apple News that was really like a lot of
I hope so.
nonsense. I mean, I'm not for sure.
I think we should all just have a mass suicide and drink the Kool-Aid, and then we can just all not worry about COVID or climate change. Just die. Give the planet back.
Well, we could have just ate the COVID people, instead of wasting, could have just did like they did that time that plane landed in the mountains in Brazil or something.
Alive? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go to India.
Horrible.
Yeah. So I guess it's my turn for my topic,
Okay.
my first topic, moving right along. Um, okay. It's a light topic. I have heavy topics too, but what really bothers me is dementia movies. I'm so sick of dementia movies. There's so fucking many dementia movies. Why do they have to have so many dementia movies? So this year, I mean, it's like there's nothing more depressing. Even the short films, they had a dementia movie. Well, last year, they had a dementia movie. It was a cartoon on the live animation shorts that were nominated for Oscars, and it's like some guy and he's got dementia and his wife is disappearing as a cartoon. And like it's like I don't know why these movies are so popular. And then the big one was, of course, The Father, which I didn't see because I don't watch dementia movies. There was that one with what's her face with the red hair. She had a dementia. There's so many fucking dementia movies. And then I'm watching The View yesterday. And Billy Crystal and Tiffany Haddish are on there, and they're like, "Oh, we're starring in a new comedy. What's it about?" Oh, a man has dementia and she's got a sassy black helper. That's not what they said, but that's the reality. Sassy black woman helper for dementia, old Jewish men. What? What the fuck? This is how Hollywood does. They're finally doing a comedy after all these miserable films in a miserable year, and it's about fucking dementia, and it's a comedy? What is going on? Comments?
I
A lot of
actually
dementias
didn't
going
notice.
around.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's true.
Griselda, what were we saying? You didn't notice?
Oh, I said I didn't even notice because I watch so little TV and movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stuck in the YouTube world. I'm just addicted to YouTube. But I will say, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like more people are being affected by dementia. And apparently now,
But what good does
came
it
out that
do?
Robin Williams had some type of dementia that
Right.
made him do what he did. There's
Right.
like all these different versions now. People are living longer because they're not eating beef, and it's just.
So how does it supposed to help somebody to watch a movie about dementia? What is that? Does that make it's supposed to make people feel better? It doesn't make me feel better.
It helps the filmmaker and the writer, but I think it makes the rest of us just depressed. Same thing with me, my fantasy living in an RV, and then they come out and make a movie basically about my life, living in Nomad or whatever it was.
Nomad land.
Everything's
Nomadland.
depressed. Yeah, everything's depressing right now. I mean, I think it's just the state of society.
Do you work for Amazon too?
Yeah. And they don't even give me a bottle. I have to go in the packages. Luckily, a lot of people get cat litter. I'll just open it up. They get a surprise. You can make a sculpture out of that clumping one.
Did you shit in a bag, Deborah?
I've never done that before. I've prairie dogged, but I've never done it in a bag.
What is
I don't
prairie
think I
dog?
could do that. It's like where it comes out a little bit, but it pops back in.
No.
It's happened before, real bad. When I went to get my vaccine about a month ago, it was horrible. And I was so terrified. I had to go, and it was coming out. I had to stop at a truck stop and run in, and I had my K95, my N95 at the N95 at that point. But one thing good about that is everybody's having a blowout in the bathroom. You can hold that to your face, and you don't smell nothing if you got an N95, so you know it works. But yeah.
So you prairie dogged from your vaccine?
What, from the food?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it just peeks out, its little brown head, and then you're just like, get back in there?
Yeah, and you're just trying to hold it together. You're praying.
Yeah. Well, I just don't understand I don't understand what's going on in Hollywood. I don't understand, like, to me, I feel like there's some control element.
Hollywood's lost.
Like, they want us, there's got to be some reason for all these bad movies. Like, okay, so does it mean people want to see that garbage? Or it's like, and then there's this idea of being taught a lesson. Like I have a good friend, and he hated Nomadland because it's like it didn't have the right lesson. He's like, well, it didn't show, how homelessness is bad, and that, and how terrible it is that neoliberalism causes homelessness. And my attitude is like, yeah, but it was a good movie. It was beautiful. It was beautiful cinematography. It was a great story, wonderful dialogue, and it was just a wonderful movie and story. And then he loved Promising Young Woman, which I thought was horrible because it's like beating you over the head. Like here's your Me Too hashtag movie. Here's what you're going to think. This is going to teach you the lesson that you already agree with on Twitter, that your friends agree with on Twitter. We're going to beat you over the head with it. You're going to agree with it, and you're going to cheer, and you're going to clapplaud this, and it's like, I'd much rather, what happens. I prefer movies to be where you can be subjective and have your own interpretation of it, where you're not given, told what to think.
So I think your issue is nowadays movies are made for certain smaller segments. Back in the day, you had to make movies for a broad audience. Nowadays, you're just making a movie for the Twitterverse. You're just making a movie for, people for socialism and like living in vans, people that are just dealing with dementia. And I think you're just not following in those.
So you think that Nomadland was actually made for people who live in vans? That's why Hulu only had it on 1080p and not 4K?
Listen, honey, ain't no hardcore Trumper watching Nomadland saying, okay, give it to me, Judi Dench. Okay, come on,
Judi Dench.
Honey. They're saying, pick yourself up by your van tires and get the hell on, honey.
What do you mean Judi Dench?
I mean, not Judi Dench. What's their name?
And then Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway?
Yes, Anne Hathaway. Yeah, they CGI'd her up. But I'm just saying, like, that movie is made for a certain smaller niche, market. Same thing with Promising Young Woman. I had my faults with the film. Obviously, like, just the Paris Hilton scene, it's just beyond. That one scene to me ruined half the movie. Her performance was good, but that's made for a certain audience, What was your favorite film of the year?
Mine? Nomadland.
Mm-hmm. It was?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that goes with your value. You're for helping the homeless and socialism. See what I'm saying?
But it wasn't about helping the homeless or socialism.
Well, I think it gets the conversation going. Didn't she win the award and get up there and say something about it?
No, she was like, don't mispronounce my name, bitch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that lady's whack. She won an award for best piss in a jar, or whatever that was. She pissed. Did you see Nomadland, Griselda?
I did, and I was just thinking, I didn't look at it so much as homelessness as how people struggle in general to get by, especially if you're, of a certain, socioeconomic class and it's lonely.
Yeah,
like that's what I took away. Hard and lonely.
For her.
Yeah, I didn't view it really as about homelessness to me, and that's what my friend was criticizing, that it should have been about homelessness. I think that was almost secondary to the film.
Well, and
that
some
it was about
people...
it was about the human beings in the film. It was about the characters. It was character driven.
And some people choose that as a lifestyle. There's people that would be offended for you to call them homeless that live in vans. They choose this way because they want to. It's sort of like the new hippie in a sense.
Right, exactly. She called it houselessness, right?
Yeah, and so go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that in the movie, she clearly had issues. When she met the guy and she had the chance to be in a home. So, there's some mental illness there too. So that, it's bigger than just homelessness or, anything.
There's a lady, the one that got me into wanting to do the RV thing for a little bit. Her name is Deborah also. And Deborah, oh God, I'm forgetting her YouTube name, Deborah Van. She got in LA or somewhere in Hollywood. She got kicked out and she was 60-something years old. I had to move into a van. And she had no idea how to use a phone or anything. And she started blogging this. And I'll have to find her YouTube so we can talk about it. But anyway, so she documents it all. And now she finally decided to live in an actual place when she was able to get the finances right. But there was one point where somebody offered to give her room and board, and she chose no. I like my independence. I actually like doing this and going out to these rubber tramp stamps, or there are these meetup things they do, or something like that. She enjoyed it.
Deborah, what was your favorite movie?
My favorite movie this year.
You can just answer. I know you like those horrible films. You can answer honestly. I won't yell at you. Well, I probably will.
I can't even Cats.
That was last year.
Well, that was was it really?
Was it that
real? Oh, wait, because it just turned 2021, didn't it? I don't think I have a favorite. What did I tell you the other day? Do you remember what I told you the other day?
No. Am I your memory?
We talked about a movie. Yeah, we talked about a movie the other day, and I said I really enjoyed it. Oh. You know what? Barb and Star. Barb and Star is
that was
my
good.
favorite.
I enjoyed it.
Because it was fun. It was light. It wasn't so serious. I was able to escape, and I think sometimes the movies are about, you know.
Did you see?
No. I'm sorry. I take it back. My favorite movie of the year. And I'm taking, and I watched it this year. I don't know if it's actually this year, but we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
The Devil All the Time with that Tom Holland. That's my favorite movie.
Never
Have
heard
y'all
of it.
seen that?
Never heard of it.
No.
The Netflix film. Netflix bought the rights because of the corona. Watch that movie.
What about you, Griselda?
Blew me away.
I don't even know if I don't think I've watched anything current. I just started watching TV again to keep myself awake when I'm working. And I liked the series Alone, where they stick someone out in the woods and they have to survive. But that's not a current movie.
Did you guys see the?
Are they naked?
Did you guys?
No, it's not the naked one.
Did you see the obese superheroes movie? The fat lady. You're not supposed to say obese, right? It's fat. Which was fine because I always preferred fat, but then I thought I was supposed to say obese, but now they prefer fat.
Some people will get offended by fat, but you're not supposed to use obese anymore.
It's called thigh gap. What is it called? Thunder thighs. Thunder Force. Thunder Force. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't even know about it.
It's really kind of good in a way, just because I make fun of body positivity and stuff, but it was great to see these fat ladies be as superheroes, and then even the supporting cast is fat too. It was fun, I mean, it wasn't really all that good, but I watched the whole thing, which says something. But it's fun to just just kind of destroy the model of that thing, and
oh yeah. And you know what? She gets a bad rap,
Who? Duty Pie?
Yeah, McCarthy.
Her.
Because she lost a little weight.
McCarthy.
Even though she's still a little bit big, she's not big enough anymore. And I always enjoy her movies. Listen, I'm not going for an Oscar performance, but I loved the one she did where she was the spy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd laughed so hard I cried.
Oh, I watched. She's like her, she's not like, it's kind of like Medea. Like anything with Melissa McCarthy will make me laugh pretty much. But it's almost like Medea. Like I could watch Medea all day for the rest of my life, and I would still have a good time. Medea is so funny.
What is that guy, Beverly Hills Ninja, that died too soon from SNL? Chris Farley. She's got that vibe going where it doesn't matter what Chris Farley was in, I would enjoy it.
So I saw this came up on my 10 years ago stuff on Facebook, and I want to read it because it just made me laugh, and it's appropriate for what we're talking about. It's a quote from Adele from 2011. It says, "I love food and hate exercise. I don't have time to work out. I don't want to be on the cover of Vogue or Playboy. I want to be on the cover of Rolling Stone or Q. I'm not trendsetter. I'm a singer. I'd rather weigh a ton and make an amazing album than look like Nicole Richie and do a shit album. My aim in life is never to be skinny." Well, she failed. Isn't that funny? Her aim in life, she gave up. She's skinny. Right? Or did she get fat again yet?
Yeah.
No,
I think she's
listen.
What?
She was, I've always thought she was pretty. She was a pretty big girl.
Pretty or pretty big?
No, wow. A beautiful big girl, like just gorgeous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She is like, I don't know, I'll put a picture up. She is like, kid you not, like we're talking 90s. Like she could be on a runway, in my opinion. Like she's knockout, good looking.
That doesn't even look like her.
Yeah, I mean, she is. I can't. You know what? I'm not gonna. I mean, good for you. If she said she did it for her health, that was the reason. So we don't know. Maybe she had like a scare, and the reason she lost it. Maybe she lost it because of the Rona. Because as we know,
well, her head got huge,
breathtaking. But I would do one thing. What was that designer? It was like Gucci or one of the older designer guys. It was like he would never dress her because she was just too fat. So I hope she does, because now everybody's coming to her door trying to dress her. I hope she doesn't, because I really definitely would not. Yeah. On borderline too thin, but gorgeous.
So what the question is, when is Lizzo going to lose weight? When she needs publicity? What's going to happen with her?
Well, I don't think she will. Lizzo's beautiful on her own. I mean, I don't know how she would look if she lost the weight,
It's her identity. I think that it would be really, I mean, that quote from Adele was almost rationalizing her weight, and Lizzo doesn't talk like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she doesn't have a problem with her weight.
Yeah.
If you listen to her music, Lizzo's never let her weight stop her from getting places, right? And the way that Adele spoke, it was like her weight stops doors from opening.
So round two, even though the time is already slipping way by as usual. What's your second topic, Debbie? Do you have one?
Yeah. So actually, this is one that you, I think you tweeted about this.
Okay.
And so basically, obviously, we're just trying to find people any way we can to get them to get vaccinated right now. And, I don't know what more we can say to some of these people. And the messaging, I agree with Meghan McCain, like the messaging is really rough on the Republican side, or that mindset. And I don't know how you get these people to do it, because Trump's already came out and said, please take your vaccine.
Yeah.
So in Illinois, you remember this?
Yeah, it was today.
100 free targets at World Shooting Complex. If you get the COVID vaccine, and this is
I'm Alex Dietrich. I've been shooting since I was in about 6th grade. My dad's done it. Everyone in my family has. We have a lot of fun. We just come out and have fun with it. We go hunting, but mainly we just come out here to have fun. It's not really a competition for us.
Okay. I'm Justin Reinhardt. I've been shooting since I was about 8th grade, I think. Trap shooting is when I really started getting into shooting. And then that led to hunting, and pretty much we come out here and have fun, and we don't.
So basically, I mean, I just I'm not going to play the whole video, but these are people that I would not think would be getting the vaccine. But obviously, this was such a good deal, 100 free targets at the World Shooting, that they rushed out to get the vaccine to do this. So, I mean, it's a good thing.
It's funny because somebody was posting like yesterday on Twitter, like, what do we need to do to get these, rednecks to what do we need to give away to get these rednecks, to get vaccinated? And somebody suggested beer, and I said bullets. And then today, the same story comes out, and it's like, wow. Well, I don't know if it works. Who gives a shit,
I mean, I would think the Krispy Kreme thing would work for everyone. I go there every single day.
Oh, that's.
It didn't work for me. I hate Krispy
I don't like donuts.
No.
I know that's offensive. Donuts give me terrible heartburn, and I live right near that Stan's Donuts, and there's a wonderful bench there, so I love to just sit on the bench like for many hours and just watch everybody get their donuts and set up their lines, and it's disgusting, because like why? And that's another topic I don't want to get into, but the whole
partner, like why not partner with like Chick-fil-A, partner with the Duggar family? I mean, there's 19 and counting.
Well,
I mean, that's 19 people that you could be injecting. They could be working at the injection site.
But Bill Maher talks about this. Very few people do in the media, but this disconnect, this cognitive dissonance between like how you eat and like your health is bizarre to me. Like, because like some of this food is so bad, like donuts and sugar, but I mean, we know how dangerous obesity is for COVID outcomes. So why doesn't Fauci ever say, hey, you guys can't be obese, because if you're obese, you're 60% more likely to get severe COVID and die. Instead, you have just these massive lines, and these are kids. These are like, when I see the line for the donuts, it's like parents with their little kids getting donuts for breakfast. Like, I mean, I'm not a parent, but don't you think, Griselda, that's a little crazy? I mean, you're going to raise kids.
Yes.
That's an addiction. It's just a horrible addiction to start a kid with.
But that's the United States fault in a lot of ways. I mean, cereal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, give them ice cream if you're going to give them, frosted flakes, for God's sakes.
Right.
I mean,
well, ice cream with frosted flakes can be delicious, actually.
I've just
vanilla.
never
Or
been a
waffles
sweet
and ice cream.
person.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. What do you just
I
eat
think,
the obese people, don't eat the beef?
I think that I like what Biden is doing with this, because I was tweeting earlier in the week, like anybody fucking listens to my three followers, but like, I think it's on him to get these people vaccinated. The buck stops. He's the president. And even though, you could say you could blame Trump, you could blame Republicans, you could blame them and otherize them. In the end, Biden is responsible for figuring out a way to get to herd immunity, which it doesn't look like we're going to get to. So if that means bribing people with bullets or tax rebates or making people have to have vaccine passports to travel, I don't fucking know, but he needs to figure the shit out, because it's on him.
I know, but those people don't travel.
Well, whatever it is, maybe they can't allowed into the donut shop without their certificate. I don't fucking know, but it's on him, in my opinion.
I mean, why not just pay people to get vaccinated?
Yeah.
I mean, we're paying people for everything else. I
Right.
mean, $200. You know what? If you free play, like, seriously, I know this sounds insane, but like the hot items right now, partner with Xbox and Sony and say, you know, you get a ticket if you get the vaccine, you get 50% off the current console. Like, hit these markets that, you know,
Yeah, I agree.
people
Be
are not going to
creative.
get the
Yeah.
vaccine. Yeah, like go to the gun people and be like, look,
Yeah.
honey, you want to do this and do this? Okay, well, we want to
Yeah.
buy 20,000 guns with these coupons, and this is how you get it. I mean, it's insane, but
I mean,
I don't
really,
know,
I
they're
it's
going to
so
buy the
funny.
guns in
I mean,
anyway.
I don't like to have to create these draconian measures, but it might take that, like being able to say, okay, you can't go to a restaurant unless you have a vaccination, or get, you know, lobby companies, chains like those horrible companies where people eat, like Red Lobster and Olive Garden, all those other places
Applebee's.
where Reagan Fox eats. But, you know, and just say, okay, well, they're going to require a vaccine passport or something.
Yeah, but that's not going to work.
Why?
Vaccine passports, not because we know that's not going to work.
Why not?
Because these companies are already not enforcing. The only place that I have been since being vaccinated through my shopping experience that has been 100% is Costco. Everywhere else, nobody's enforcing it because everybody's scared they're going to get shot by one of the guns by enforcing this stuff. Everybody's talking about, you know, communist China and blah, blah, blah.
Well, like here in
that's not-
Chicago, they're having a bunch of street fairs this summer,
But
and they're
it's-
not going to allow
it's-
people in without that.
Okay. But what's going to work in these places where people are not getting vaccinated in these rural communities is stuff that they do and things that affect their lives, you know?
Like shooting.
Yeah, like or churches. Like, why are we not? I mean, I hate to say it, but why are we not like partnering with some of these, like, what is that crazy Christian guy, Joel Osteen? I mean, as sickly as it is, he just cares about money anyway. So I'm sure if you say, look, we'll give you a donation, $30,000, get on the TV, honey, and start peddling your magic.
Yeah, good
He'll,
idea.
You know.
But see, that's what Biden has to do, is he's got to get his team to be creative in that way. And I think in a way he is, and he, you know, I don't like a lot of the stuff he does, you know, especially with the health care. I think it's a disaster that he's basically given away Medicare for all.
Well, what about the rights to
But-
the vaccines? Do you think they're really going to do that? Now they're coming out and saying
Really?
that
I don't know. I hope
they're
so.
thinking about
but
waiving it.
I hope so, but
Do you think
I
they're
really,
pandering?
I'm skeptical. Yeah, I'm really skeptical. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. But he said this week. He said, "Oh, well, you know, I'm going to aim for 70% vaccination by July or something." He had a goal,
Yeah,
which to
July
me,
4th or something.
the good thing is that even though I don't know if it's attainable, but in a way, he's owning that. I believe, and saying
He's
well,
owned every goal, though.
yeah.
We've hit every goal, you know, exceeded.
Well, one besides the vaccination, which is great. But what else? What do you say?
A free King James version with each fax, Andy saying.
Did he do that? Okay.
No, I mean, I feel like, you know, obviously we didn't reach the 2000, you know, we got the 1600. I mean, I feel like he's put action. I feel like he's working. Okay. Like, I can't say for sure he's done everything. That he said
Right.
he was
No, he is, but he's bought and paid for
But
by the.
I
by
was
the-
able to get a vaccine way faster than what I thought I was going to be able to
Right.
get. You know, like I didn't think this
Yeah.
some of life would be coming back this soon.
Well, he hasn't earned my second vote. I'll say that he has not. He
I mean, the
would've-
healthcare thing, I really thought, and maybe he'll do this, but because now if you notice that speech he had the other night, he's starting to say healthcare is a human right. Well, why are we saying that if you're just wanting to subsidize the health?
He said that, but it wasn't in
companies
his
and do
plan.
ACA?
That
Well,
was just
exactly.
pandering. That was insulting to my.
I mean, it's
everybody's
pandering,
intelligence.
but then it's like, well, maybe he'll do it. I don't know.
But there was nothing in his plan. It was nonsense. I mean,
No.
the reporting is that he has absolutely no plan to do anything, and he's basically written it off because
The
of
pharmaceutical industry has just too much money.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to happen.
and the
Like
insurance
impossible.
industry.
I mean, if he
Yeah.
pulls the patents, though, then I think everything's going to start snowballing.
I think it's possible. I just don't think he'll do it. I think it would have been. I think Bernie could have done it. Who's next?
Me. Next up, we're almost to our 1 hour time, by the
Don't
way.
worry. I mean, we can go a little over, so don't. Just pick.
Olestra.
Oh, okay.
So I was wondering where Olestra went
Yeah.
And now it's
Went out the
you
booty
guys
hole.
might remember it.
Oh, I remember it.
Refresh people's memories.
So it was allowed in food here in 1996. And there were a bunch of snacks that came out, including Wow Chips by Lay's, I believe. And they had warning labels, saying that they may cause anal leakage. So one, I was reading about the anal leakage, and it turns out, some people would have that. The FDA in some of the studies was referring to that and the oil that was evacuated as OIT, or oil in toilet.
Oit.
I actually tried to get Olestra chips. It's now called Olean. I forget which year, but they were able to take the warning label off. So it's still in some foods, mostly snack products. But like fat-free Pringles still have it. And I just couldn't find any. I even looked on Amazon.
Sorry.
But yeah, so now there's no warning label, so it's just in our food as Olean. I'm skipping around a lot, but the cool thing about Olestra is it can mimic any type of fat. So it could taste like butter. It could taste like beef tallow. It could be, anything you want. But they,
like Freaky Friday?
They are able to manipulate it. They can manipulate the flavor. So if there's any fat that you want to eat, it can be identical. And the other cool thing is most humans, if they know that they're eating the chips, they'll actually overeat. But if they don't know, they tend to eat, the same amount that they would if it were a regular chip. So you could possibly lose weight. And then I'm just going to talk about one study. It was that there was an 8-week study of people eating at least a can of Pringles a day that had Olestra, and they measured the bowels of all these people. And because, there's all these reports of gastrointestinal symptoms, and people were reporting, this just reminded me of something else, that they were having diarrhea, but they were measuring all of this. And the water that was being released was not actually diarrhea level. So you could actually be just fine eating these Olestra products.
What do you mean it wasn't diarrhea level?
Like you have to have a certain amount of water released to be considered diarrhea. So they, actually they did a similar study with sorbitol, and the sorbitol made everyone, really sick, really fast.
Can you imagine being the person that has to measure with the water in the diarrhea?
It builds up.
I know.
What
so
a
the
job.
Olestra basically works the same way, I'm guessing, like the Ally.
The sorbitol, that's the one that I'm.
Builds up.
That's the one that makes me allergic, because I ate that licorice once when I was in the Miami and J-Lo's bathroom, and it wasn't really her bathroom, but it was backstage, and I just exploded from eating a bag of sugar-free licorice that I didn't know was sugar-free.
And the gum will get you too.
I kill dogs too.
So there's actually a difference between Ally and Olestra. The Olestra you can think of like a ball, like collecting, like a ball of gum going through your intestines, and it's collecting all of the fat in there, as well as vitamins and minerals, and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then because the Olestra liquefies, that's why you might have some leakage, but it's basically like cleaning out your system. When Ally goes in, it actually, so that can be a problem, because if you eat a lot of it, you can have nutritional deficiencies. Ally works by not allowing the enzymes that digest and absorb fat to work. So basically any fat that you get isn't being digested, it just comes out.
So
does that make sense?
It sounds like both of these sound like they would cause horrible health effects later.
Yes, and they do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe not long term. We don't know yet, because it was a relatively new product.
Wouldn't you be able to lose a lot of weight just eating those nasty Olestra chips? I mean, you're shitting your brains out.
Well, that's why I wanted to get some. I wanted to try.
Like a tapeworm.
Well, what about prunes? Because when I've been eating these prunes from the Trader Joe's, they have two kinds. One has the preservatives, which taste better. One doesn't, which I've been eating because, to avoid the preservatives. They taste horrible, but I just explode the next day. Do you think I could diet?
That's just natural fiber.
So can you diet?
Yeah,
can you lose weight when you shit like that from prunes?
No.
Really?
I mean,
so it's just for fun.
A lot of people take laxatives. It doesn't.
You're not burning the energy, honey.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, you lose weight by breathing. You know that, right? Like, Every time you breathe, you're breaking.
Well, when I
down
shit,
and all.
it smells so bad. I breathe a lot just because I kind of waft in the stench.
That's
Okay,
like
one
that's
last
like
thing.
the inside of a battery. You've got the battery shell that you poop out, but the energy is what you burn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The scientist.
So I learned a new word. I hope I'm saying it right. Steatorrhea. And that is having a stool with a lot of fat in it. And I just thought of this because you talked about the stench. They're supposed to be really smelly. And they have to measure over 5 days to see how much fat is in it.
And what is the color?
For it to be called that.
What is
I
the
didn't
color?
say the color.
I would imagine a fatty dude smells different.
Well, when I was on the ally and I was on the yoga ball, it came out looking like the grease that was on the Taco Bell.
You shat on a yoga ball?
Yeah, I had a picture a long time ago. I told the girls one day I'll share it. And I've never been able to find it, thank God. But I was, back when Leo Laporte's like, sit on a yoga ball. It's better for you, babe.
Leo Laporte?
You're working on the computer. Yeah. Mine did explode. So, but yeah, I just remember I was on the yoga ball working, and all of a sudden my stomach rumbled and I thought I had gas. And next thing I know, I looked down and on top of the yoga ball, it is all orange, like the Taco Bell. You know that? Oh, you know what I'm talking about, Grizzly?
Yes.
You know when you get the taco like that orange color? And I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "Never again."
Like chorizo grease.
Because I knew it was a possibility with the ally, but it never happened. So I would always do the tampons. The pads. A pad on the bag just in case.
You got panties on.
How long did you go on it?
I was on it, I think, about 3 weeks. So that's went out when the FDA allowed it, and I spent the $80.
So when you shit on the yoga ball, were you wearing panties?
Yeah, I was wearing full garb, honey. It went through the clothes. It was so much. I swear to God, it was like somebody had murdered a clown. Like I was sitting on top of Trump and his skin, like the tan
melted,
started running.
Like if you threw water on him and he melted.
It was bad. It was bad.
So I want to go to.
But the Olestra now, I do remember those chips, and I remember it really hurting my stomach. But the only time I had any issues with any of those fat-free candies was the Reese's sugar-free, and I didn't know at that time about the sugar alcohols. And I'm like, well, if you eat this many, you're right, what you said. When you know something's diet, you indulge. And I ate 2 bags of those Reese's, and it.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. It was horrible. It was, because every time you think it's done, it is like, rum. It's just because it's still going through your body. It was horrible.
So I have one more topic, which is, it's more serious, but in Colombia, there have been huge riots. And police have been killing people, at least a dozen, probably I think more than that. I don't know the number. And Deborah, why is Caitlyn Jenner back on your screen? The fuck happened?
Oh, I thought I had it on here. I must have didn't. I had something for Colombia, but go ahead.
So, I don't know how many people. A lot of people died, and there is virtually zero coverage of it in American news media. And it's just weird, and I don't get it. And it's been really hard. Like I talked to somebody, a programmer in Colombia, myself, because it was the only way I could find out what's going on today. And then everybody's talking about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates getting divorced, which who gives a shit? So I don't understand what's going on, and maybe we can figure out what is that from Guardian? That article you
the news.com.pk. I don't know.
PK. I don't know. But anyway, it's what seems to have happened from what this person told me who lives in Bogota is that basically they had a pandemic, so did we, and what happened is because they had to do lockdowns, their businesses, their small businesses, lost a lot of money. So as a way to sort of and the government had to bail them out, but they don't want to go into debt in the same way that I guess the U.S. went into debt because we have the world's currency and we have bombs to kill people if they don't give it to us. Is they decide they don't want to go into debt, so they raise taxes basically on the people, the working people. But of course, those people don't have money either because they were also in the pandemic and lost money. So they went on the streets and protested, and the police reacted very violently and killed them, a lot of them. And it's a terrible government, and it's you know, you talk about all these so-called socialist governments like Venezuela and Bolivia, you know, the U.S. is always bad-mouthing them, pretending they're horrible when really they're not. They're just socialist. All those things they accuse those socialist governments of, Colombia really is. It's really a hardcore military-style, you know, kind of authoritarian government, but it's friendly with the U.S. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Why does this shit not get reported? And any thoughts?
Well, these people obviously are very white. No, well, maybe that's why. I mean, America doesn't
I wonder
care
how
about
much
brown people, honey.
How much is being censored? Is it like China? You know, how much news that's accurate can get out?
I mean, it was on.
I would think that
it was on an AP. It was on a Reuters feed yesterday. Live. It was streaming. Nobody picked it up though. You know, and then you watch, and then I was watching American News this morning. The Gayle King with her messy, nasty wig. I don't know why she can't comb her hair or her wig, whatever that is. Nothing. It was all American. The only thing they covered that wasn't about America and our stupid politics, mostly about Trump and Liz Cheney and all that nonsense. The only thing was about India and their COVID disaster in India, but there was nothing else about the world. They're just not picking it up.
Well, but you're complaining about stuff that you've complained about forever. I mean, I remember you talking about this 10 years ago with other things. So, like, America just cares about America and the topics they want to talk about.
I think it might be more than that. It's like because the sort of the neoliberal aspect of it, you know, because what, you know, I think in a way, I don't know, maybe it's just me being paranoid, you can tell me, but I think in a way these maybe the news companies don't want to show people protesting what's basically a neoliberal policy. They don't want people to see that.
But the idea
because it might give us the idea. I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, it's a lot of people getting killed, and I've never understood why a human life isn't just a human life. Why is it? It only matters if it's an American human life.
Because we're in a bubble in America, honey, and they don't want that the atmosphere that is America. They don't want that to ever disappear. I don't know if this is done like subconsciously. You know, like if there's people in a boardroom sitting around, you know, smoking and drinking cigars. But you know,
how would you drink a cigar?
Well, you drink it and with cigar. I don't know. I've seen, you know.
Just give it some Olestra.
Howard Stern's done it, yeah.
Soaking Olestra.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know how much I believe, like, it's just people in a boardroom. But I just feel like everybody's conditioned already in this country, and they just follow the same lead.
Well, but people do make decisions. I mean, there are.
David Pakman covered it. If that gives you any closure, yeah. David Gigas said David Pakman covered it.
Well, that's good.
So I'm sure, like TYT, a lot of these newer news organizations that have more of a global audience cover something like this. But if you think, you know, the Duggars are caring about this, they're just not.
Isn't that the pedophile guy?
Yeah. But or people like them. I mean, it's sad, but I didn't know about this until you started talking about it. Like, you know, and
I only knew about it because you put it on Twitter.
Yeah, that's good point. Twitter.
All right. Well, does anybody else have anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up.
Nope.
Did you have any burning desires that you must discuss?
Yeah.
I just really want to find those Olestra chips. So if anyone can find some for me, please, you know, comment.
Please get Olestra chips for Griselda. What about you, Debbie?
Yeah, just to close out, you know, I'm one for pop, you know,
instead
of worrying about your Columbia stuff. I thought it was pretty interesting. Billie Eilish, or whatever her name is, covered Vogue. And, you know, she's always been one to cover up her body.
Yeah.
She wore bigger clothes because that just wasn't her image. She wanted to not show her body. But you know what? She went blonde. She got a lot of backlash. And she's very voluptuous. I think she is just a gorgeous, young, talented young woman.
Yeah.
And here's some photos.
Yeah, I really like that too.
James Munfield.
I've been kind of following her. I just find her interesting.
So her and her brother are so talented.
Just the way they made that music in their bedroom. Although that documentary was kind of unbearable.
I didn't watch it.
It's really affected her
Oh,
and
really?
Blew it up. Yeah. I wish I had that, but I didn't know.
Well, that's very like Twitterversy. So I mean, you
It
just
is.
saying that, I'd have believed it if you wouldn't have told me that.
Right, exactly.
But I mean, the machine's going to take over sooner or later. I mean, her whole thing was about not being a part of the machine, but then you become the machine, and then the machine wins in the end anyway. So it really doesn't matter. But I think she's very talented, and I would like to put it out there that I was very correct about Britney Jean Spears, about those horrible documentaries when I gave my insider revelation before about her, and now she's coming out against them too, because it's just the mass media trying to capitalize on her life all over again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Documentaries. Well, they have these Britney Spears documentaries that keep coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to make a point. No, I'm not watching them, because they're just trying to build her up again and push her down. And basically, she spoke the other day talking about it's just all BS, and it's just the same old thing, hypocrisy. It's just the machine taking over. So yeah.
Well, if people have feedback, they should go. I don't know what to do. Go to
leave a comment.
Yeah, leave a comment on the blog, because this is ultimately a blog at ethishutShow.com. We have a Twitter, which is Ethis Hut Show. I don't have an Instagram yet. It's too hard, but maybe will. I don't know. Give us feedback, because we need to figure out
maybe
if
I'll
this
do
shit
it for
is
you.
good. Yeah. That'd be great.
And one thing, make sure you like the video and the YouTube, share it, leave a comment, especially the algorithm loves comments on the videos.
Griselda's
But please
gone.
make sure you review us on iTunes, honey. Give us a 5-star, 4-star. If you only have 12 fingers, cut 2 off, then you have 10, and just type something.
Give us feedback. I'm going to play the outro, so. Oh my God, I have to tell you, I've been so distracted this show, because we have these new neighbors. They're they're not newlyweds yet. They're fiancés. They're in their 20s, and they're just so loud. But they're not loud like during the day. They're just loud now when I'm trying
Like
to
in
do
Love
a
Loud,
program.
or we're talking like
No, it's like
Mike and Tina loud.
They're just loud in the party after work loud. Like my little studio here is, you can see it. There's basically just a brick wall. It's a little tiny alley that echoes sound. So when people go on their back porches and talk, it's magnified. And have you been able to hear it?
No, it does such
I
a good
hear
job.
it. It's so
No, we
annoying.
can't hear it.
It's going to make me crazy, because you know how I am with my ADHD audio stuff, and I'm going to go crazy with my noise gate.
You need a drop mic, like PNS Explosion used to have outside the window into the alley.
Why?
So then you could tune in, just because it's fun, and you could be nosy, and you never know, you might luck out and get a social.
I need the opposite of that. I need the. I need the. I'm either going to say so I could do like a noise cancellation with it, right? If I could
Yeah, I
use the
guess you
drop
could,
mic and
but
like somehow noise gains, that'd be nice.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well,
it
thanks.
was fun.
Thanks for being on the show, and we'll figure out when we're going to be on next. Who knows?
Bye, honey. Hope you find your chips.
I hope my neighbors.
Bye.
Bye. Squish.
Okay, Miss Edna, because I thought it was a crank call. Can you tell her what you told me?